Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Okay, here we go.
Why is it wrong?
I want to talk to the auctioneer.
You did talk to the auctioneer and you helped him set these prices.
It's completed. It's just the...
Benny. Pills. Chris, Chris, I'll call an ambulance. Find the pills and bring them back.
Chris is enmeshed in a web of lies. And that's important. I need him to feel like there's only one way out when he's told to commit murder. My name is Darren Brown, and the question we're considering is simple. Can we be manipulated through social pressure to commit murder?
70 people coming in here. They can't see this. Take them by the knees.
70 actors will be playing out a meticulously planned and rehearsed scenario to manipulate this man, who has no idea he's being filmed.
Come on, guys, what are we gonna do? He's a millionaire, he's gonna make sure you go to jail.
This show is about how readily we hand over authorship of our lives every day.
Just give him one big push.
Can social compliance be used to make someone push a living, breathing human being to their death? Welcome to The Push.
Shocking experiment shows people will murder others just to conform to society. A shocking experiment shows the level to which people will go just to comply with social norms and pressure up to and including committing murder. By the Free Thought Project, March 10, 2018. By Dylan Charles. In his 1974 book, Obedience to Authority, An Experimental View, Yale University psychologist Stanley Milgram discusses in detail the findings of his now famous experiment. Milgram demonstrated just how easy it is to convince an ordinary person to commit torture and murder under the instruction of an authority figure. Intrigued by the role of Nazi military personnel in concentration camps during World War II, Milgram wanted to know how much coercion people needed in order to willingly inflict harm on another person. He asked volunteers to deliver an electric shock to a stranger. Unbeknownst to the volunteers, there was no shock, and the people they were shocking were actors pretending to be terribly hurt, even feigning heart attacks. Milgram found that most people would keep delivering the shocks when ordered by a person in a lab coat, even when they believed that person was gravely injured. Only a tiny percentage of people refused. Source: the suggested conclusion is that people are inherently unable to think for themselves when given a subordinate role in some authoritarian hierarchy, such as the role of the ordinary citizen in a state-controlled world. A documentary of this experiment can be seen here. The Milgram study was controversial in that some felt the results were skewed in favor of a predetermined bias. In the 50-plus years since the experiment, there have been no other major research studies to confirm Milgram's findings. Nevertheless, the presumption that normal people will go as far as to commit murder if they are relieved of responsibility by an authority figure feels inherently truthful in a world of so many organized atrocities. The question is, can we be manipulated through social pressure to commit murder? Darren Brown. It's an important question at a time when the converging technologies of AI and social media are affecting individual and group psychology in not yet understood ways. British illusionist Darren Brown recently conducted a similar experiment, this time in a feature documentary for Netflix entitled, The Push. This show is about how readily we hand over authorship of our lives every day and the dangers of losing that control, says Brown, who organized the reality TV-like experiment in which ordinary people were duped into doing things most of us would never even consider. At the heart of the experiment lies the powerful effects of social pressure and social compliance, along with the individual's inherent need to belong and fit into society. It also questions the nature of individuality, while demonstrating that many of us simply don't have the courage to assert our own moral courage when faced with even a slight amount of authoritarian pressure. The push begins with a phony police officer calling a cafe worker on the phone and in a quick minute, without even a face-to-face interaction, convinces this person to steal a woman's baby. Interestingly, the worker carries out the abduction even while expressing significant hesitance. The main experiment picks up from there, involving unwitting subjects who are gradually convinced of the need to push another person off of a high-rise building. It's an elaborate setup, which builds upon one small act of compliance after another until the subject is put into a situation where they are encouraged to kill a man they just met. It's a rather theatrical and unscientific presentation, but the results are noteworthy as 3 out of 4 participants actually shove an actor off of a building, believing they are committing murder, after being pressured into it by a small group of others. It's a shocking act of compliance and subservience to the pressures of a peer group and a persistent authority figure. What we don't know about society today, though, is just how many people are this extremely socially compliant, capable of doing anything to appease the directives of others. As Brown notes, the more socially compliant a person is, the more likely they are to look to others for signs on how to behave. And the more people, the greater the pressure to join in. This says a great deal about humans. Are we somehow wired to abandon our own morals and sense of self-integrity for the false belief that fitting into a group is necessary for survival? A trailer for this show is seen below. Read more articles by Dylan Charles. Dylan Charles is the editor of Waking Times and co-host of Redesigning Reality, both dedicated to ideas of personal transformation, societal awakening, and planetary renewal. His personal journey is deeply inspired by shamanic plant medicines and the arts of Kung Fu, Qigong, and Yoga. After 7 years of living in Costa Rica, he now lives in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where he practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and enjoys spending time with family. He has written hundreds of articles, reaching and inspiring millions of people around the world. This article, Experiment Demonstrates the Deadly Power of Social Compliance, was originally created and published by Waking Times and is published here under a Creative Commons license with attribution to Dylan Charles and WakingTimes.com. It may be reposted freely with proper attribution, author bio, and this copyright statement.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.